Imagine this. A plane crashes deep in the snow-covered Andes mountains. Temperatures dropping below -30 degrees Celsius. No food, no shelter, and no hope of rescue. Now imagine the only way to survive is to do something unthinkable. Something that challenges everything you believe in. This is the true story of survival, where humanity itself was pushed to its absolute limits. In 1972, a Uruguayan rugby team boarded a flight to Chile. Excited, full of life, completely unaware that this journey would become one of the most shocking survival stories in history. When the plane crashed in the Andes, the survivors were left stranded in one of the harshest environments on Earth. With only a few scraps of food and no way to contact the outside world, their fight for survival had just begun. The passengers were not trained survivalists. They were young athletes, students, and friends. Ordinary people. The flight path crossed the Andes Mountains, a region known for unpredictable weather and deadly terrain. Due to a navigation error, the pilot misjudged their position, believing they had already cleared the mountains. But in reality, they were flying directly into danger. Within moments, the plane hit turbulence, lost control, and slammed into the mountains. The crash was devastating. Parts of the plane were torn apart. Many died instantly. Others were severely injured. The survivors gathered inside the broken fuselage, using it as a makeshift shelter against the freezing winds. At first, they rationed what little they had, a few chocolates, some wine. But within days, it was gone. And then came the crushing realization. Rescue teams had stopped searching, assuming no one could have survived. The cold grew harsher, hunger more intense. Day after day, their bodies weakened and hope slowly faded. The biggest question became, how do you survive when there is absolutely nothing to eat? No vegetation, no animals, just endless snow and silence. Then came the moment that changed everything. The survivors realized the only source of food left was the bodies of those who had died in the crash. It was a decision that went against their morals, their beliefs, everything they stood for. But starvation is relentless, and eventually, survival took over. They began to carefully preserve the bodies in the freezing cold and consume small portions, just enough to stay alive. A choice so disturbing, yet so necessary that it would haunt them forever. One perspective sees this as pure survival instinct. When pushed to the edge, humans adapt in ways they never imagined. Another theory suggests psychological collapse, that extreme hunger can break down moral boundaries completely. Some survivors later explained it through faith, comparing it to a form of spiritual sacrifice, a way to justify the unthinkable. And then there's the idea of sheer luck, that out of all odds, these individuals simply managed to endure what most could not. Conclusion. After 72 days, two survivors made a desperate journey across the mountains, risking everything to find help. Against all odds, they succeeded. A rescue mission was launched, and 16 people were brought back alive. This story is not just about survival. It's about the limits of human endurance, the choices we make when faced with death. Because when survival is the only goal, how far would you be willing to go?